one with the weave. Forthwith.
Welcome in, Aliana, on the new phone.
Seems to be stuck.
Ouch. Okay, what else can we find down here?
I've got a long road ahead.
Do we have any potions or anything? Yes, we do.
Your desire.
Well, I'm doing good. I am
Breathe deep.
progressing through Baldur's Gate 3. I was unsure if Druid was a good choice, because it felt like my Fire and Barbarian companion was better, even the Warlock. So I was a little displeased with my choice. But then I got a new Druid form that's called Owlbear, and I'm not displeased anymore. Let's see, I hope you're doing well.
Seems to be stuck.
Oh, well, that's well, I would say that racists are just becoming the N-word for white people. So it's stupid. Sorry to hear that. It's I would rather people going back to you're an asshole or you're a dick instead of this new age stuff. Yeah, it's socially acceptable to claim everybody's a racist, everybody's a Nazi and stuff like that. It's stupid. It would be better if we had because it's like a category, like you're in a category of evil, you know. So it's to me it would be better if someone says you're a dick or you're an asshole or you're a piece of shit or something like that. It's just addressing your behavior. So if someone is an asshole or something, it doesn't make them a racist. It's just them being insecure, and just because it's a white person treating them bad, it's a racism. And if it's not immigrants or maybe a religious group, it's anti-Semitism, because it's just a cheap card to pull. Because everybody, no matter what religion or color of skin you have, you can be an asshole and dick, a piece of shit, stuff like. I think that's better. So that's why I think that the anti-racist movement and all these groups who are trying to make this protective bubble, because it's a social defense mechanism they have made that everybody has accepted. So it's let's say someone screams for help, you know, and you run over and they're claiming that someone is assaulting them or going to hurt them, or they're claiming that they are supposed to do something against you or them. And then you take on the white knight mantle and you start a fight with them. That's what they want. So it's only good if the person you're helping is actually telling the truth Because if they're just calling for help and pointing to someone, it might be you beating up an innocent person that they don't like. I call that the retarded human missile. It's when you attack someone without knowing if they're innocent or not. Let's see what you say. Oh no, I mean he hated brown people and I called him a racist for it. Then he called me a R-slur. What's an R-slur if it's not racist? He was like, I want to deport non-whites and you're retarded. Oh, for being okay with brown person being your neighbor. Like, he really hates Muslims and brown people. I have no clue why. I get what you're saying though. Well, the thing is that he is using his freedom of speech. And the thing is that you don't have to like him. And you don't have to agree what he says. He does not have to like Islam. So, if he doesn't like brown people, that's a preference of his. I try to judge every individual on their behavior, how they treat me. If they treat me with respect, I usually treat them with respect. But the problem is that people with immigrant backgrounds, they usually don't treat me very well at all. They don't even try to get to know me. They choose to dislike me because they assume that I'm a bad person and that I don't like them. And if they try to befriend me and I'm not interested in being their friend, I'm also a racist. So if I'm having a bad day, I'm also a racist. So for me, it's kind of hard to jump on the whole anti-racist wagon, because I'm always a racist, and it's because I'm white. And I hate that shit. And it's the same, like, I want to be loyal to Sweden. That makes me a nationalist, and you know how people are with nationalism, you know. So it's like, feels like you're trying to do good, but you're always bad, because you're only good if you want to destroy the structure that is keeping you alive, which is fucking stupid. Yeah, I'm white and I don't have hair. The only way you can be bald with acceptance or with semi-acceptance is if you have to have a beard. So if I want to be bald, then I'm almost required to have a beard, because if I have a beard, it's not guaranteed that I'm a Nazi racist. But if you're bald and don't have a beard like I do, you are definitely a Nazi racist. And if you have boots and a jacket, a bomber jacket we call it, you're most definitely a Nazi and a racist, because you look like one. So it's like, you can't like a certain look. You can't like have a heavy metal approach to things anymore. Well, the thing is that they claim that I have to suit my... it's my own fault that they have prejudice against me. That's what I've heard. So if people like the guy you talk to, he has prejudice against Muslims and brown people, right? And that is somehow wrong. But I'm a white man that is bald, that also like to have boots. And I actually have a reason for having boots. Like my shoe size is 48 European size. You can find, if you buy sneakers or anything, you only find like size 46. So I'm 2 sizes too big for the normal shoes that they sell in the stores. So, and when I started buying boots when I was in my teenage years. You know, I've always had boots. I bought normal shoes just because I've been like poor or something, because they are somewhat expensive. But I like them more than normal shoes just because you get a better size. Because I need to find like very soft shoes that bend to my toes, so they like break in the right way. So that's the annoying part about the boots. Because I've even had like employers trying to like tell me to get new shoes. And I'm like, you have to buy those shoes for me then. Because these shoes are the ones I have. So it's fucking retarded on that part. You know, it's not like they're telling the Muslims to skip their dress code, you know. So it's basically discrimination if they do it against me but not against them. So it's all fucking retarded. I can't be a white Swede in Sweden. That's how it feels for me. So you are very correct. Stereotyping is silly. Well, we're the same species. So let's say you have cats, right? Cats and bears, they are the same family animal, but they are different species because they have been apart so long that they are not the same race anymore. That's why you have dogs, and then you have coyotes and wolves and foxes, because they are in the canine. I don't know if the family name is canine. So dogs can have races because they're still dogs, whilst a coyote is not a wolf or a dog, and the same with the fox. So it's you have species and then you have races, and race can both species and race can change what you can eat and what biological traits you have. So we're all humans. That means we're the human species. So it's the problem with the anti-racism being the same race. Then they need to they make their political view or their ideology a problem for biology. Like if you want good health care, you need biology. If you need to know what to eat to be healthy, you need biology. Let's say, for example, you have we have routine for food in Sweden, where you need to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and maybe have a snack and something when you go to bed. So it's and then they have decided what is good to eat and what's not good to eat. But if you read the theory, it's they counter themselves. So it used to be it's only good one way. Now it's good only one way, unless it doesn't work, then you do it another way. So you have still the straight and narrow, but they have stepped in a new rhetoric where, say for example, you have one that is thin, then they need more fats and more energy based foods. And then when people are easily fat, they want to take away the energy. And that is a sign that people are different for some reason. But that usually has to do with, it can have to do with the body's insulin levels to do with. Our heart rates can be different, our blood pressure can be different. Some families have a lineage of lower blood pressure. So if you take, for example, a blood pressure of 90 through 60, I think that's how you say it in English. That's similar to that. I translate. That's why it might sound different. But some people have that naturally, and that would be low blood pressure for everybody else. But that is what everybody in the family has. So they're not unhealthy. They just have a different blood pressure than everybody else. And that's a sign that they are different from everybody else. That would make them a different race, or even species, if it's a big difference. And me, for example, I have high blood pressure, and a lot of people in my family has high blood pressure. And now I'm questioning if that is like, are we sick, or are we just naturally high in our blood pressure? So, are we really sick? Because I have some family members that are eating the blood pressure medicine just because the textbook says that they have high blood pressure. But I don't feel bad. I don't feel sick. I feel strong. Like, I go to the gym. I both lift and I do some cardio. And I don't feel unhealthy or like I have any physical problems with the high blood pressure. So it's when they did the research, they used a certain group of people, and if there's people from outside those family lines, the studies are incorrect, or the research is incorrect if we are different from each other. So if we would go with the anti-racist logic that we're all the same race, we would be hindering research ability, because then we cannot prove that we are different. And in the same regard, we would not update our healthcare, which means people would die because they get the wrong care. So anti-racist is stupid from a healthcare's perspective. Because let's say, for example, there are people who want... we have people from Africa or the Middle East that go to Sweden and they get Swedish healthcare. That healthcare might be free or cheaper for them, and that is bad for us, and it could be bad for them because the theory might not be as true for them. Parts of it might be, but we don't know what parts won't be. If they are different, how are we supposed to know that when we did all our research on our own people? So it might not be a giant difference, but the small differences can do a lot. Can be. That is not... can be, yes. If we have the same blood type. Because you have blood type, and then you have the negative and positive. And then you also have the protein. There can be a protein difference in the cells. So if you do a blood transfusion, even if it's the correct blood, there can be a negative reaction to the infusion. You say that's a small detail, you get my point. Well, it depends on, let's say you have an ideology, right? The ideology won't save you from reality. So let's say you want to discard negative truths just because it's negative to your ideology. If you are an anti-racist that dislikes racism and you don't want to see that it has a biological reason, biological roots, then you might see that some racists are just looking at biological facts, and then you have stupid people who call them racist. You also have to realize that when it comes to science, we're not done yet. So we don't know everything. So that's the problem with a lot of people as well. Both in politics and in regular life, they think that we know everything and that what we know is correct. There are many things that is in our lives that we think are true that can possibly be wrong, because it's a theory. We don't have a foolproof fact yet. Some facts are undeniable because no one can prove anything else. But when you have a working theory, there's an actual chance that you are wrong. But it's up to everybody else to prove that. No, I'm saying that anti-racism is an ideology, and it makes people stupid in the regard that they don't, they are... Well, that's fine. Hope you had a good night with your bottle of wine, though. Anti-racism are making a problem politically, socially, and they are calling people who are addressing to facts and science to racism. So the problem as I see it is that racists and people like this, they are usually in the category of bigots, and rightfully so to many when they are just racist to be racist, you know. But when you are addressing biological facts that there might be differences, even if they're small, they can have negative effects to a functional healthcare system, or that we help people that we can't help because they are different and we don't know that. But that can happen with mutation as well. And basically it means that our science is not perfect. It's not done because we don't know everything, basically. And anti-racism will close their eyes and hold their ears, and then they will go blah, 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 and don't listen, and that's also very stupid. Let's just say like this, it's very simple, really. We both have met people that act like shit. I have had problem with the people with the immigrant genetics because they have a problem with me just because I'm white. And that is racism to me. That is keeping me from being an anti-racist. And you might have a problem because you've basically met people who say the bad things, and then you have gotten proof that racism is real and living, you know. And the part is that most immigrant groups are doing like breeding practices where they do give their children to each other's, like two parents meet up and make their children marry. So why is it wrong when whites do it and when it's totally acceptable and every immigrant group does it? Well, it's not discrimination, it's people being assholes. The rules of discrimination doesn't work. It's American stupidity that we have implemented in Sweden now, which makes everything worse. Well, isn't it racism? Well, let's see, you say it's not racist to have a preference. Well, no, but it's starting to be like that. I heard a Korean female that I used to know in my teenage years that said that it was bad when guys liked her because she was Asian. So that was super weird for me, because that meant that she disliked that they liked her for her unique look. You also say, how is arranged marriage racism? Because they only marry within their own people. Well, they're trying to keep the bloodlines pure. Remember? The bad thing that we're not supposed to be allowed to do. But what I'm getting from this is that they're marrying within their race because they're prejudiced to white people. Well, they can be. If they are preserving their people, and let's say for example that they're not saying any racist slurs at all. So you had a problem with a person that was speaking out about his dislike for other groups of people. So let's say you have these breeding groups that are disliking everybody around them. So they are disliking the whites. So let's say they move to Sweden and they think all whites are like stupid, they're ugly, they stink bad, whatever they think. And then they agree that their children is supposed to be married, but the children doesn't want to get married, but they are forced to because of cultural or financial reasons. They want to be part of the family, so they feel forced to because they were so young they didn't know better. So now, because their parents were disliking white people, they are now breeding within cultural norms of forced marriage kind of stuff. So they're not behaving if they're what I'm saying is like is it racist, you know, because you kind of understand the point. But if the children didn't decide it was the parents who did it, that's when I think it's a little bit racist, because it's supposed to be up to the children or the individual. The parents shouldn't be involved in the selection. If they are butting in my own personal opinion. So it's which I've experienced in my country though, where My Sri Lankan childhood crush couldn't date me because her mother didn't like that I was white. Yeah, well, that's or you think so. She might have a dislike for your parents if she knows them, for example. Because that's usually how it goes. They don't want they don't want their kids to mix with the other kids because they know the parents and they think the parents are shit and they don't want to hate their grandkids. So then they are feeling forced to butt in. I don't want my grandkids to be like that guy or that female. That can happen even if you have a community with that everybody is the same group of people. They will still dislike each other and try to keep away from certain people. Like, it's the whole control of the children that's the problem. Because they are, at least in Sweden, because we have an individual model where you're supposed to be part of the country. So when you're in America, for example, or when you listen to Americans, they talk a lot about community, because their nation is split up. They basically have a clan structure. That's what a community is. You need the community, or you will be weak and easy to abuse. Whilst in Sweden, the nation is our community. There's not supposed to be like small break-offs, that's cults in Sweden. Because you're supposed to be part of the nation. You're part of the body. So we're not too keen on the whole community thing. The idea is starting to grow because of the fractured social climate. Because we used to have a lot more unity, and it's been very broken because of American ideology on how multiculturalism works and how old our system is. There's a lot of ideas that are breaking what made our country work. It's breaking it apart, and it's not. I don't like it. Let's see. Prejudice is wrong. Having a preference for who you're physically attracted to is fine. Yeah, you can't really choose that. You're either attracted or not attracted. So that's... Yeah, I can see from her perspective she probably felt objectified. Well, that's stupid. I think the whole part of being objectified is to me is stupid. Like, it would be like I'm not the hottest guy in the world. I think I look decent, but I'm not like super attractive. So if I get a compliment on my looks, I would be not only shocked but a little bit. Well, I would take it as a compliment, is what I'm saying. Let's say, for example, you have a great butt, or you have nice arms, or good shoulders, or a nice face, and someone says that. It's bad. I don't get that. Socially acceptable is usually to talk about people's clothes, and that is fine. Because then they have done something good with how they dressed. Or I like what you did with your hair. I like how you did your makeup. That is also objectification, you know. And they put effort into it. So if you put effort into being hot as hell when you go to the gym or something, your ass looks perfect, or you have nice legs, and you worked for that, it's not objectification, because you basically want to show it off. So I think objectification is born out of insecurity. People who are insecure and don't like the attention. And then it has blown up because somehow people have gotten more insecure or objectified. I guess maybe it happens to people who stay single for a long time, or they're uninterested in relationships, so they feel they had to make a word for it, whilst maybe everybody else thinks that they must want someone, and then they all butt in. So maybe there's like a community trying to throw every single male at one female, and all those male has like a planned out hitting strategy. So you have like 500 guys going like, hey female, the nice ass, and then she just feel bullied instead of appreciated. So that's probably what made objectified a thing. Because before that, people were... The whole thing with having a ring on your finger when you're married was to show it, so you had like, everybody understands that you're married, taken. So that was like a butt-off thing. So you didn't have to be rude, you didn't have to be anything, you could just show the ring, I'm married. You know, so the whole I don't like the objectified argument. I think it's it has brainwashed women to think that they are being ill-treated when they get a compliment. And they only apply it when it's someone they don't appreciate. So let's say someone shows up and they're ugly, or I'm totally not interested in you, how dare you even attempt to get me. That's what I think it is. Because when a guy they would like, they would probably forgive them or give them a chance or address them, like do it in a better way or something like this. But there's also a lot of guys that have zero finesse when it comes to talking to women. So that is the flaw of the man. That they are just very shit at being finessed around women. And women are not very forgiving and very picky. Let's see, what you say? Forcing children to marry is wrong, of course. My pa tried to marry me off to a 21-year-old woman when I was barely 17. He is white. Well, that was... Yeah, that's... Like, if you didn't want to, it's bad. But if he present a 21-year-old that you were like, oh shit, oh yeah, then it wouldn't be a problem. The only thing is like how they do it. My parents have tried to like butt in on my love life as well, but they do it from the shadows because they think they're smart when they're super creepy and trying to make me date people. Because they come from the rape culture times of Sweden, where everybody was drunk and just fucked around. Having sex with people who were unconscious wasn't rape, and stuff like this. That's where my parents come from. Because at that point in time, stuff just happened, and then you were a couple. So it was, there's no real order or structure, so it's basically rape, yeah. And then you liked it or you didn't like the fact that it was like, you broke it off, like no more, I don't want to. Like, I regret having sex with you. That's the point you had to do if you woke up and you had sex with someone and you don't remember that. And the elderly people who try to butt in on their youth, they also try to do that. So they're trying to speak between the lines, and things just happen. It's just they don't talk in the open about them trying to make you date someone. So let's say someone approaches my mother and they are interested in me. Then my mother wouldn't tell me. She would be awkward about it and try to make it just happen with that person who addressed her. Or she would run around addressing people that are single or no single people and try to surprise me and them with meeting up, and then things just are gonna happen. When you have two unaware people in the same place. And then you have maybe other peoples in the room that are just super excited about you and that other person just making it happen. And then you're just in a room with a bunch of creepy people who think everybody reads between the lines and everybody else's minds. It's fucking creepy. You're right, parents shouldn't have a say in who people date. Well, if they do, if they arrange something, maybe they should make two people aware of each other and not making everything to a super funny surprise, because then they're just having fun on your expense. She straight up said to her daughter, who then told me, "Don't talk to white people." Yeah, that's a line. That's an advice though from her perspective. So she must have bad experience. We don't know why. She might have had a bunch of bad experience with white people. So this can be the reason. When her only experience with white people are like bad. That's why she doesn't want her children to be around that. They don't know my parents. Well, it doesn't as I said, that doesn't have to do with your parents exactly. I heard in Europe there isn't really much community outside of your state. I couldn't fathom that. Well, I suppose it's crackling, but it's because of all the immigration. It made Europe a lot hostile and dysfunctional, because we didn't have perfection. We had a culture that was embraced by most inhabitants. And when you have a culture that is embraced by most people in the nation, you get a unity that you do not get in multicultural societies. So the whole community part is, you don't need a community because your nation is that community. So the problem now is that we have a bunch of people trying to pull American community crap over here, and we don't like it. The problem is that there are some people who are looking to that as the only solution. And some of those people are Swedes now as well, because they are just tired of meeting immigrants. So I'm sad to say that it's looking like we're going that direction, and I fucking hate it. It was so much better 20 years ago. Like, you have no idea how much better it was over here. I can't speak on American multiculturalism as a Canadian. It's different here. Okay. Objectification is more so about when you're only appreciated for your looks. Women can tell when men only want them for their body. That's objectification. They want to be seen emotionally for their personality too, most of the time. Like, some women are just looking to flaunt it and have a good time, so it naturally doesn't apply to everyone. Well, I think that the problem with that is that objectification is a very fast way to get interest. So it depends on what you like. If you like men, if you're a woman who likes men, you might actually like them. And when you like them, you want them to touch you. On the places where you're not supposed to be touched. All the bad places. The butt, the front, the boobs. Stroking on the back. Kissed on the neck. It's not socially accepted if like a strange dude just do that. But if that strange dude is someone you want, then suddenly it's acceptable. So that's the whole paradox here. So if you're a female who likes a guy, then you suddenly want that guy to be a fucking misogynist guy, like grabbing you by the butt cheek and like, hey baby. Then suddenly it's not problem. it's fucking weird, you know? How are we supposed to know? The point is I was a minor and she was a full-blown 21-year-old. That's the issue. Well, you didn't have to become a couple that second. Basically, he was matchmaking, and you would be 18 within 1 year or less, which means he was trying to marry you off. So it could have been possible. Like it doesn't. She could have been 41, and it would be legal still, as long as you are 18. You know. So arranged marriage, like he did it. That he talked to you like, this dude. We're wondering if you like this female over here. That's like that's an option for you. It's not forced. If you can say no, it's not a problem. Like my retarded parents would have success if they do that instead. You have one female and one male that are both aware that they are gonna meet up for a matchup. That is organized and to two people's understanding. It's not a surprise for her or for you, because they have been open about what they want. She could have said no to you as well. But if she didn't say no, maybe she was the one with the interest to start off, or too afraid to say anything because of her parents, and that's a problem as well. If you have a culture when a female don't even dare to speak their mind. But I mean, we call that quiet cultures, when people are suppressed in their family structure and don't know what to say, or because everything is wrong. Good convo, by the way. I appreciate that you think different than me. Well, it's hard to have a discussion when you agree with each other. Then it's just you only have like when you don't agree with someone is when you can grow your arguments as well. You don't have to like switch positions, but you can find your weak points in your arguments. It makes you think. So it's actually not bad to have a person that speaks against you. You're not wrong just because someone does that. You just need to think and build argumentations for your position. So it's not about changing someone's mind necessarily, because they will change their mind if they realize that they can't argue against it. Like, how am I supposed to argue against this? Surprise is like playing with people. Like using them like marionettes. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. It's a It's a way of leadership they don't like. It has been used successfully at many points in time, but it's also a leadership style where you only care about what you want. You don't care about the people you use. It's not in their interest at all. It's only in yours, and the fact that you could fool them. Let's see. You're right, it could be that she only ever had bad experience with white folk. BRB. Sorry, I need to use the washroom. My family is a quiet culture because they practice filial piety. What is that? Filial piety. I have never heard that. Elder worship is another term for it. Old Confucius teaching. Well, elder worship is the thing. The thing is, when in Sweden, for example, you need society if you don't need your family. Because without a society, you need your family. If you don't have a society or your family, you probably need a new community of some sort if you live in such places. And everybody knows that when you're new in a group, you usually tend to end up on the bottom of that group. Because everybody who is established, there will be like a power position thing. So that's the problem. If you're submissive, it will be easy because you will take whatever. But if you have a dominant personality, or like me, I'm very large, so everybody thinks that just because I'm strong, that or big, that I automatically will become a threat to them, or they become stronger if they manage to suppress me or socially or something like that. So they're insecure. If there's a leader who is insecure about my personal size or anything like this, they will show how much support they have or how little support you have or stuff like this. So it's you can't get away from elder worship really, because you will always have, even if you have people in your own age, you will have people who are more established in the group or not, and it will not have anything to do with being an elder necessarily. Because you can be, let's say I get a new friend group, and those people are in their 30s. So you have people in the friend group that are 30 years old, and I am 40. I will still be new in that group. And there will probably be 1 to 3 people who are like deciding things in the group, making plans of activities, or doing all those things that make the group stick together as a friend group. If I go into that group, then those people will automatically show that who's the boss. And if people like me too much, that's a problem. And then they have to assert themselves in different ways. And that's gonna end up being like me not being invited to parties or social gatherings, or they try to do everything they can do to find out about your past, because they know what their friends' dislikes are. So they have to find out if you have done the things that they dislike, so they can claim that to them, so you get less popular, stuff like this. So it's the social game is just annoying. And if you live in Sweden, so far you don't have to care what people think. It will affect you socially. It can affect you in the workplace, even when it shouldn't. It can affect you in the workplace. That's the bad part. But it's society are supposed to at least give you a ground support. So you're necessarily not being used by anybody, but you can still be you can end up alone. That's the problem. Too much drama. Indeed. Okay, let's see.